Hey, it's Dr. Schmidt. I want to talk about Lyme disease. So, ticks will drop from the trees, and also some ticks will be on the ground and they jump. And so that's why some people don't like woods. This is my backyard. I got this woods in the back here. There's actually a swamp back there, like a little pond, and ducks will sometimes land there. It's a woodland swamp is what it's technically called. And but as I pan this way, you'll see, don't be fooled by the shortcut grass as being safe. So even if you have kids running around in this sort of a yard with various trees, you still want to check them for ticks, like in their hair, on their scalp, anywhere on their body. Once I had a tick on my leg. The tick has to be there for I think it's more than 36 hours in order for it to transfer Lyme to the human. So there's my house. There's the back of my house. So this is my yard. Now, to protect yourself from ticks, you wear a hat with a broad brim, long sleeve shirt, jeans. Whenever I mow or whenever I'm in these woods, like dumping leaves or branches, I'm always wearing long pants, jeans, and boots. And I wear a hat. I'll wear short sleeve shirts, and I'm always, I'm checking my arms at the end. So the Lyme is an infection, and there's co-infections that come with it. So Babesia, for example, Bartonella, and there could be like up to 60 co-infections. So this diagnosis of Lyme disease is just a multitude of infections. So I'd like to use the term bioburden. Now, bioburden actually also refers to somebody having a parasite and a fungus, or a virus and a bacteria. So just multiple organisms that are creating a burden on the human body. So think of Lyme as a bioburden. Now, a number of years ago, I had a patient come in, and she had a new diagnosis of Lyme. And I said to her, okay, well, go see this other doctor because they have a reputation of treating Lyme, and this other doctor also has a reputation of treating Lyme. And the patient said to me, you're doing what everybody else does. They refer out because really nobody knows how to treat Lyme. And I was like, oh man, you're right. So I've put some thought and attention on this and some research and some ideas. I've had some conversations. The way you want to address Lyme is the way that you address any sort of bioburden. So you want to make sure that your body's clean of toxins, chemical and heavy metal toxins. You want to make sure your diet is as good as you possibly can get it. You're feeding your body. If you've seen my videos, you know I'm a fan of red meat. If you're doing like a plant-based vegan, vegetarian diet, it weakens your immune system. Your immune system is made up of tissue. And to feed your tissue, eat red meat. And so you can have chemical toxicity or heavy metals making your immune system weak. You can have a bad diet making your immune system weak. Now, a lot of Lyme doctors, they'll diagnose it correctly with a blood test, or there's a test called isogenics. And, you had the big bullseye rash on the arm from a tick. I have a patient, she was bit 3 times in one summer. And she's got all the, you can have all the symptoms, fatigue and joint pain, et cetera, et cetera. And then if your Lyme doctor treats the Lyme, that's part of the multitude of steps that need to be taken. You can't just treat the Lyme. Just like in medicine, you have an infection, like let's say bronchitis, they treat it with an antibiotic. Okay, good, that's step 1. Now what? What do you do to prevent it? What did you do to cause it? What weaknesses do you have in your body that make that bug live in your body? Why is your tissue, like for example the lung tissue, why is it dying in the first place that a bacterium or some other organism can go in there and eat the dead tissue? You want your body to be revived. You want your tissues viable, because the bugs come in and they take non-viable tissue and return it to the soil. That includes black mold and fungus, bacteria, virus, parasites, Lyme. So, and that's their job, is to return your body back into soil. Just like if you go back in these woods, there's going to be all kinds of rotten logs that are laying down in the mud right now, and there's mushrooms growing on it to return that carbon back into the environment. So now think of it this way too. Okay, I'm going to give you another term, multi-therapeutic approach, MTA. So multiple therapies put together as opposed to one silver bullet. That's been the way that medicine has been operating for a long time, like at least since Pasteur, but probably thousands of years ago, is trying to find the one thing that will treat that one disease, and then everything is gone, everything is cured, and the doctor is the hero. Whereas, as opposed to the multi-therapeutic approach, where, like for example with Lyme, you might want to be detoxing heavy metals and fixing the diet up, and then draining out mucus and like phlegm from the body, and then maybe killing the Lyme with antibacterial or antimicrobial herbs or whatever it takes. So you're doing 4 things at once. That's the best way to approach it. So a few years ago when I was thinking, okay, how do I kill Lyme? That's the hard way to treat it. You want to do like all these things together, the holistic approach. So I'm going to give you another analogy related to the multi-therapeutic approach. Dr. Bredesen, he's the top Alzheimer's clinician right now. His book is called The End of Alzheimer's. And he has 36 or more, he calls them holes in the ceiling. So if it's, the analogy here is it's raining, the water's coming in through the roof into where you're living, and there's 36 holes, and you got to plug them all up, just like with Alzheimer's. Okay, so there's 36 reasons why somebody has Alzheimer's, and he's reversing Alzheimer's. It's a multi-therapeutic approach. So that's the future of medicine, is looking at all these factors together. Now, I did a video with Jane McClellan. She wrote the book How to Starve Cancer, and there's 19 ways that cancer cells eat, and she's saying do a multi-therapeutic approach and block all the ways that your cancer eats. Maybe it's eating 6 ways or 12 ways or whatever, but block all of them that is applicable to your cancer. So that's the same with Lyme, multi-therapeutic approach. So there you go. And you got to have a good holistic doctor. Let me give you one more analogy, and that is a guy named Alan Savory, and he's got a really popular TED Talk. He's reversing deserts. We're talking about land, turning sand into green, and he calls it the holistic management, and that's his term. And he goes, you take any piece of land, and you have to manage it holistically. So it means a lot more than just saying it. You got to look at the land. Where does the elevation go up and down, and if water were running through it, where would it go? And then what about the animals, and what kind of plants should be planted, and all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing with the body. It's the holistic management, multi-therapeutic approach for Lyme, for cancer, for Alzheimer's, for any sort of chronic condition. And if you like this information, please give me a thumbs up, and share it with somebody who has a chronic problem with their health, and then subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you can see when my next video is coming up. And I'm going to turn this camera around. I'm going to show you the little bunny, and hopefully we can see it. We can zoom in on the rabbit.